are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to our complete resource management webinar. I'm your host, Thomas Babb, Regional Manager here at Stanford Global. Our presenter today is the Managing Director of Can-Do, Thomas Schlieret. Can-Do are a German-based project management software company who have developed a tool that helps better planning, transparency and resource management in projects, leading to significantly better project outcomes. The PM tool is certified as software made in Germany and has won several awards. Today, Thomas will be sharing his expertise of effective resource management, starting right in the portfolio planning stage and then moving through to the project delivery, focusing particularly on the difficulties of planning around uncertainty. He will also be presenting at the upcoming Nordic Project Zone Summit in Copenhagen in November on resource management between projects and line organizations. The webinar will be 45 minutes with the questions time at the end of it. Please use the chat function to post your questions. I'll hand it over to Thomas now to start the webinar.
Thank you. Hello everybody, my name is Thomas Schlieret. I'm the Managing Director of Can-Do and especially responsible for the software development. We start with a small PowerPoint presentation to bring you on the line to all this content what I'm explaining to you. And after the presentation we look a little bit at the product to visualize all these methods and techniques that I displayed on the presentation. First of all, to have a first touch to the topic, a little overview how important and is project management in modern companies. So if you look at the development of project management and portfolio management in the last 10 years, the importance increases dramatically. So we can say it's a triumph of project management in companies. In Germany especially, a lot of these companies are very specialized manufacturing companies and the most of the money that they are earning are with projects. Project management is not only an important thing internal for the company, it's also defined as a competitive advantage to competitors. Some of our customers, and we most of the time have huge companies with more than 5,000 or 10,000 employees and what about 2,000 or 3,000 employees inside of projects, are defining this competitive advantage and their skill to make good project management on their sales, in their sales documents and on their presentations. And I knew a lot of cases in the last 1 or 2 years where customers get a contract, make a deal with the final customer because they had a better project management. And in most industrial countries in Europe, we have a skill shortage, highly educated, expensive people, engineers, software developers, designers, and so on. And there is a limit of these resources, and it's not as in the past where you have an unlimited number of resources and of people in your company. So if you need more because your plans are not good, you hire 100 more and that's it. Now at the time, these people are very expensive, they are very limited, and you have to use it optimized in your company. Most companies are in a development process from a typical line organized company to what we call a project company. That means the most business activities are faced and planned in projects and managed in project style and organized with project management systems, beginning in the portfolio world through the multi-project, multi-resource management world, the line organization, down to time recording and connections to commercial systems like SAP. In this case, the management, the mid and the top level management think more in project management than in the past. So they are leading the company with projects. The most powerful employee in the company is, in most companies, not the head of the largest department, it's the manager of the largest project. So this is the basic, and all companies that I know are in this development stage on different levels. Some people are in the beginning, some companies are in the beginning, so they are more in line organization. In others, they are working totally in project. Our company, for example, runs 80% of all business activities are placed in, or played in projects, and the daily business is only 20%. So the world of project management begins in that we call portfolio management. A portfolio of projects or multiple portfolios are a group of running projects and upcoming projects. And it is not as sometimes in the past where all projects are stopped at one day and all other projects begin on the next day. It's a permanent flow of running projects and upcoming projects. And to get an overview on it and make the right decisions, which projects are coming and which project will we start, this is one of the most important things in portfolio management. And the other thing is to control, to have an overview of all running projects. You need a very good balance of the usage of resources in your project. It's not only a question that the resources are not overloaded, it's also a question that the resources have multiple activities, are balanced with right decisions on the right projects. So, and this is a very, very hard and a very tough business for people because we have customers, for give you an example, with 3,000 or 4,000 resources, and in one project you can access, in theory, all these 4,000 resources to make an optimal staffing for your project. And of course, this is not possible to do this manually. You have to do this with the support of a perfect software. At the end, you know the three main goals of all project management: to be in time, in budget, and in the quality that you want. So that means you have not only have a look on the resource situation, the time situation, you also have a very good look at the financial situation. In most companies, they have only two types of projects: successful projects and strategic projects. That means everything what is not a success is defined as strategic. At the end, there are financial problems in this phase, so you have an eye on the financial goals of a project to earn money with the project. What is the purpose of project portfolio management? It's at the end, with all things in project management, it's very easy. Portfolio management means find the right projects. Do that project that brings you the most profit, and do the project which you can realize with your money and your resource limitations. In a portfolio there are project ideas, maybe some things that come from final customer, requirements from customers, and in a portfolio are running current projects, and sometimes it's necessary to have completed projects as in the portfolio as well. A very important thing is the next topic. Portfolio management is a continuous process. That means I'm not deciding for all projects for the next year on one day. There are permanently coming new ideas, new requirements, new projects. You have your running project, so you have to decide continuously about the start of new projects, the delay of new projects, or maybe you have to delete some new projects. So it's a dynamic and a continuously process. All our customers do this at the time in cycles. So that means the board comes together in one quarter, at the end of the first quarter, for example, and look at all new projects for the next quarter, the second quarter, and then they decide which projects will be realized and which are not. And the companies are trying to reduce the cycle, not to go only one time in a quarter, so to have these decision meetings every week or every month or ad hoc. In all companies you have multi-project and multi-resource structures. What that means is that a project doesn't have an exclusive pool of resources in this project. So it's not that I have the resources in my project are only working for my project. They are working parallel on other projects and in daily business. So if you imagine we have customers, they running permanently parallel more than 500 projects. You can imagine how complex this will be. In one, we have a resource that a typical developer, for example, is involved in more than 20 or 25 projects in 1 year. He's jumping from one activity in one project to the other activity in the other project. The problem with that is, if you have a problem in one project, for example, a delay or a wrong effort estimation, and you have to change your project plan, you will also change the workload of this resource, and this have be an influence to another project, and this other project is connected to you through the resource, and you get a network of resource activities through overall projects. And these structures are so complex that even a computer has problems to manage this. We have some customers, they have Candu server systems with 64 CPUs, and these CPUs are calculating 100% 24 hours to manage the future, to give a perspective of the future development of all these projects. And this workload for the computer is based on resource activities. And you have a last topic, you have this is all one world. The world starts with portfolio management, where I'm coming from the top with new projects. Then it goes one level down to the project manager and the line managers, and realize this project, or planning this project, observing this project. And at the end you have all these thousands of people who are working the project, they give a feedback to TimeRecording. The problem is, this is one world. That means if one resource make one time recording on a work package in one project, it has an influence to the portfolio through all these levels. The computer needs to calculate this within milliseconds to be up to date with the actual situation of your project world. One big challenge in the company is this, what I mentioned, multi-resource management. To make a good planning with portfolios, I need all planned activities of all resources in the future. Not only my perspective in portfolio projects, also the activities in running projects. So this is the only way to give a good perspective what will my people are doing in the future, and can I realize this new idea with the current resources. So you need both. An isolated portfolio management system makes no sense and has no profit for the company. The planning process from the portfolio management through to the working packages at the end are not typically named. That means we are working in the first step with, we call this virtual resources. That means in the first step I'm planning, for example, department and teams. And then on a later stage of the portfolio process, I replace this requirements for departments with named resources. But on the planning with departments, I need the exact load of this department reflected by the resources, as well as their basic loads, the daily business, holidays, everything. The computer needs for a perfect simulation of the future all information, but it's not the number of informations are the important thing. That means it's not necessary, for give you an example, it's not necessary that you input in a simulation software that you're leaving the office on Friday 1 hour earlier, because the influence of this information is not really hard. But what we need are true informations. So for example, if somebody estimates the effort for a working package with 7 to 10 days, and you are planning with 10 days or with 7 days, the information for the simulation it's not more true, because the estimation was 7 to 10. Not 7, not 10, it was 7 to 10. If you are entering your computer 10 days, it's wrong. It's absolutely necessary that the software is able to work with non-accurate values, with inaccurate. That means we need not much information. This is not the most important thing. We need realistic information, the truth. And that means even more accurate you are planning, the more combination will appear. If a developer makes an effort estimation between 7 and 10 days, it is because he don't know it at that time when I'm asking him for the effort. He knows only 7 to 10 days. Or everything is okay between 7 days and 10 days. If I'm entering in my planning software 7 days and he needs 8 days, I have to change my project plan and the capacity planning for this resource. So with an accurate planning, a daily exact planning, the effort increases dramatically for every user to maintain the information in the computer. And that's the reason why the most systems that are installed in companies are not really used, because the effort is much higher than the benefit. With an inaccurate system, the effort reduces dramatically and the informations are going better. On the other side, the customer, the final customer, maybe will not accept a project plan if you say, okay, we will ship this product sometime in March. And for this purpose, for outputting, for presenting, for printing project plans, you can select, okay, give to this customer the worst case situation, 10 days, or give the best case, or give the most probability value. So the future that the simulation is calculating and that what you are planning are not 100% sure. So we do all these things with probabilities. That means you don't know exactly how long you need, how much the effort exactly is, and how much it costs, and when exactly it starts. That means we cannot say from this information to 100% what will happen. If you look at your electronic calendar, you will see that you have a lot of scheduled meetings in the next week and the week after next week. If you look in your calendar in November or January, there are not so much meetings or events there, because at the time today it's too far away to make a precise planning in a calendar. But with projects, and especially with portfolios, you have to have a long perspective planning for months or years. And for this, you need an inaccurate planning technique. What is the low-level requirements for a good project portfolio management system. That's what I mentioned before. I must be able to have realistic values, not some funny things. I need the knowledge state of my organization. I need the exact the effort estimations, and then I can plan dynamically and can mirror the reality to the system. If you imagine a company with hundreds or thousands of people, they are daily working in portfolios, projects, departments, on working packages. Everything is changing every time. No project runs exactly as planned. So that means a system, in the best case, it runs in real time. I'll give you an example what I mean to that. If I'm as a project manager get an actual project state of my project at the end of the month, or I get it one time in a month, it's too late. I cannot wait up to this. I need a change. For example, somebody goes ill or something happened. I need this information in real time. And this is not only for the project manager, it's for all users in the software. We realized this within 200 milliseconds worldwide. We deliver all necessary informations and all results of any calculation. And the software cannot solve the problems that I have. If I have not enough resources for my projects, the software will not solve this problem for me. What the software are doing is it moves information, data to informations. If you imagine that you have hundreds or thousands of projects, or in one project, hundreds or thousands of working packages, there are a lot of informations for me every day to calculate. And one purpose of the software is to reduce this, to show me only the points where my decision is necessary or my action is necessary. I'm not interested in all 100 projects that we are currently running. I'm only interested in that projects. They will be in problems if I don't do something. So absolutely reducing everything. I should lay in the software what I meant with this. So and that's what it meant, an overall risk management. I have several problems in projects. I have resource overload, time milestone, time problems, budget overloads, and a lot of problems. And the software needs to aggregate all this and give me a realistic perspective. What will happen to this project or this portfolio if nothing changed? Nothing changed. If I keep it running, what will happen? And that's what the software are doing. So if you have need further information to all these things, go to this website, and then you can download a document, a presentation to get more detailed information for this. So now, maybe something what I told you sounds a little bit theoretically. So I will show you a little bit this on software, and don't be surprised. The software looks different to maybe what you are expecting. As we made the software, we did this with huge basic analysis with huge companies, and one problem was ergonomic style. The most project and portfolio management systems are very hard to use, and this is not a fault of the software companies. It's a problem in the system itself because it's very complex. And then the first time we don't have any idea what to do, and then we move some techniques and methods from computer simulation games like Sedlar to industry software. So that's the reason why the software looks a little bit like a computer game. Everything is graphical, everything is real time, and I'm not able to produce an error message. The software don't know errors. So, and one very important thing, the software never changes something for itself. So nothing will move automatically. I have to do it manually, whatever I want. If we look at this portfolio, every object that you can see here or here, it is one project that will come. You see inside the bar the percentage. The percentage is the probability that if this project is coming. So in this case, with 75%, this project will be realized. The reason for that is that you cannot be 100% sure that the project is really coming. Another thing is you see this very different graphic style, this light shapes here, and I show you what this is. If I have a new project coming up from the sales team, or I have a new idea or whatever, I place it here with the mouse. It's working fully graphically. And of course I don't have saving or loading something. It's a client server system. Whatever I did is stored on the server. So I have a new project here, and now I don't know exactly when will this project start. If the customer says to me, okay, we want to start this in, for example, in November, it's not correct if I enter here in the starting date 1st of November. This is not the information that the customer or whoever sent to me. The right information that he sent to me was November. And now you see the starting date is during the November. The same thing is with, for example, with the duration. In the most projects, I cannot say at that stage of planning exactly how long we need for this. For example, we need 3 to 4 months. And the software is doing this. This looks very easy, and it should look very easy to the user, but to make this, it's a disaster for any computer simulation, because now how is the workload in this project? For example, if I'm asking how is the workload in the middle of December, we don't know exactly. And the only way to have a solution for this is to calculate every situation which could happen. That means internally we calculate what happens if the project is starting on the 1st of November and it needs 60 days. And after that we restart every calculation. What will happen if it starts on the 2nd of November and it needs 60 days? And between all these new projects there are a connection with the resources. So now you can imagine how much we need to calculate to get a good probability. We use for not a linear probability calculation, we are using the Gaussian distribution. So that means the most probable situation for duration between 60 and 80 days will be 70 days. Now I have my project here and I can move it or change it and can input unlimited values without a dictionary value, but this is not really important. The next thing that I do is to estimate which resources did I need for this. And if you look at the resource library on the server, so it's German, it's our resource tree, you see several resources. And at the end you have 3 elements. You have departments. You see our company, you see our development team, part of it, and so on. And you see external companies that we're working with. And you see, in this example, and you see developers, people, human people. You have departments and people. And you have skills. Skills means, at that point, it's not interesting for me who will do this. I only require several skills. And in this example, I can say I need for this new project the development team, I move it here, and I need the development team 20 to 30 days. And I need somebody from this department with one guy with average workload of 50%. And now what you can see here is the software calculates all resources inside the department with all activities in all projects that those people have, and all other assignments of the department, the people in all portfolios or simulated projects, and combines all possible situations that can happen and estimated the risk. And this is done in real time. That means at that point the software says, if you want to do this with a probability of 14%, your department development will be overloaded in March with other things. And we do this in real time. That means if I move the project, I say let's start it here, a recalculating is done in real time, and now you can see with 81% in October it will be over, this department will be overloaded, and in which way you organize this, which resources, which one you will have, in 81% they will be overloaded, and the risk is too high. It's not possible that that will run. And this goes in real time. And if I'm looking on this risk, and meanwhile, somewhere in the world, something dramatically happened in this department, for example, some employee will leave the company, this risk display will change within 200 milliseconds. And I can assign or simulate an unlimited number of departments to any project. And I can say, but I need special people. So for example, I need this resource. I need this guy. I need one guy from this department, some people from this department, and especially this critical resource. And you see as well, the red line goes on here. I get a risk, and the software tells me immediately, if you want to use this employee in that time, with that load, you will be guaranteed overloaded with 25%. So you have to change other things to manage this. So I move it away, or I reduce the workload down to 50%, and now you see immediately the risk didn't change. The software says, okay, with 50% everything is fine. The last thing are the skills. At that point, I don't want to, or I'm not able to decide exactly who will do this or which department will do work in this project. So I can here go to this skills. I said for this project I need one guy. It's a project management expert. You see this here, the skill, and also you should be also have the skill to be able to portfolio management. And risk also calculated as well. If I go to the filter, the software says, okay, you have these two people possible for the job. And I can combine it in other styles. I go to all our subcontractors, but I only need from the subcontractor somebody who is a project management expert. And it's as well calculated that I have this will be a risk with this. It needs, of course, in that case, the external companies have to maintain the information in the software as well. So this is the first step, and now I get risks for my project. Risks that the project will collapse or will fail. But this is the business, to have a project with risks. On the other side, every project should have a benefit. And this benefit is here stored as a project score. And we don't care what it is, because it's a personal or method estimation of the user. So it could be 1, 2, 3, it's like a priority, or it could be money, how much money I will earn, how It's the profit of the project, whatever. We don't care what it is. For example, I said the benefit of the project is 25,000, whatever it is. So, of course, you're able to do other things with it, but this is the most easy way. Now, I have two, at the end, I have two values for a project. I have a risk and a benefit. And now, maybe I'm in the situations that I can do all projects, then I have to decide. And I visualize my portfolio world in a bubble chart. In this bubble chart, you see on the x-axis the risk. A bubble, more on the right side is more risk. On the left side you see the benefit. So that means on the left top quarter here are the high important projects with a good perspective, they run well. And here you see the not so important projects, but with a high risk. And this bubble chart will be updated in real time. That means if I move my project here and change the world, you see now it looks much better. And the strategy for portfolio management is if I have projects here on a risky situation, I change the projects here. And this is only a little example how to work. So you have all fields in Candu where you can calculate and, for example, a little analyze, give me the assigned effort in relation to the project duration. Okay, so that means this project has a lot of effort, but not so much duration. That means high percentage of workload. And this is one of the most important cases in companies. We advise or we suggest all customers, please approve all these projects, only projects if the projects are not too risky. Otherwise, the project manager and the line management has no chance to realize this. Now, for example, I approve this project and a new project is here. And the funny thing is I have here on this workspace both. I have the portfolio and I have the project. So if I move this, for example, to display it in the same, you'll see it's both displayed and it's updated also in real time. So if it's allowed for me as a project manager to update the project, for example, I make it longer, here you can see it will be immediately updated here in the portfolio. Everything is in real time. That means also this as a portfolio manager, if I open this bubble chart and look at it, it's possible that it moves a little bit, and I see a real-time perspective to all these things. So now here in this project, I can do all these funny things that you can do with a project management system. So that means you can create phases, you can assign resources on phases, you can create milestones, all these funny things that you usually know from other project management systems, but also non-accurate planning is here possible. Let's say sometimes in December, this milestone. And I have a template library, and I can say, okay, give me from my templates a piece here, a technical template, but only a part of it. Give me a server installation to this project. I place this here, and now it needs 1 second to place it. And now you see I have this project plane here, and in this template, the required departments and everything is already inside, and it's pre-planned. So, and then I'm asking for resources in departments, and at the end, the head of department looks to his department through a table view and sees all exact requirements that he had for a project. In this example, for our new project, I need 79. hours, or let me do this in days, for example, like this. And this is also updated in real time. We said, okay, this I give to this project 10 days this resource, and 2 days the other resource, and you can see here in the project the team is changed in real time. And finally, at the end, we have a time recording tool for the resources with all this information that they can input their time recording. The most important thing to understand is that portfolio management and project management is one world. And it's not an isolated portfolio management and time planning and resource planning. It's one world, and from the portfolio management to the projects, to the line organization, down to the resources. So hopefully you get a little overview about the technique and the methods behind it. Hopefully you're not afraid about the complexity of portfolio management. With a good software and a good process in your company, it's not as hard as it sounds, maybe. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for the great presentation, and I would like to ask the audience to please feel free to ask questions. It's time to ask any questions you might have, or in case you don't have any now, it's also an option to be in touch with Can-Do in the future, and I'm sure that they will be able to help.
So, okay, one question: what is the most exciting challenge to implement a good computer-based portfolio management in companies? Well, there's two sides where you have to look at. One is the method and the processes. So you need a normal good organizational style. And there are two critical business cases where you have to look at it. One is the approval process from the portfolio. That's what I did in software, like only with one click. But this is the important thing. If the top management, the board, is approved projects which are not realistic, then whatever you do in your project world behind that, it will fail. So this is one very tricky process, and it must be absolutely clear how the decision process is, and the top management needs the project management skills to make the right decisions. And the second process is the communication between the project managers and the line managers. So I, as a project manager, require resources from a department, and the department delivers people to my project. And this process must be absolutely clear, that I as a project manager can be sure if you assign me these people in my project, that I could be sure, okay, I will get them. And the line manager not only delivers resources to projects, he manages daily business, maintenance, vacations, whatever. So you need the process and the tools to manage all these critical processes.
Thank you, Thomas. We have a couple of more questions here. There's a question: Is there any interface to external systems?
Yes, of course. So we have around about 70 installations, and no system has no interface. We have companies with 10 or 12 interfaces. The most used interface is to SAP. So we have all large customers have SAP, and we exchange with SAP some strategic information from SD, project head information. We deliver time recording information on it. Then we have a lot of other interfaces, for example, to Microsoft Exchange Server, to go to email system. We are working on a SharePoint, better SharePoint interface that we have today. At the end, we have what we call an XML basic technology. and universal interface that works in both directions. It's very easy to connect Candy to foreign systems, and it's a typical step in any project to have interface. We have an own development team only for interfaces.
Thank you, Thomas. There's another question. Can the cost dimension be captured? Considered
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you see the software looks at interface very easy, and we try to do this the same as in the price structure. So you can choose between two models. One model is about a role-based price model. That means the most expensive role for software is called a portfolio manager. You can do everything, and the most cheap one is the resource only for time recording. So you can, and the other model is a company license. So imagine, in average, our user, independent if it is a portfolio manager, project manager, resource, it's around about 800 euros one time by one license. That's about the size you can imagine. And you have to add 20 to 30% of this license cost for implementation. Means customizing, not individual development. The product is a standard product. We make no individual development. So 800 euros per user.
Thank you, Thomas. Is there any limitations in the number of projects that could be...
No. So you see how I react on this. In Candy, there is no limitation at all. Not numbers of resources, resource assignments, number of projects, number of packages, number of portfolios. And we worked very hard in the last 10 years for this feature. You have no limitation. The only limitation is the RAM of your server.
Mm-hmm. Is there a possibility to manage several portfolio with separate access rights?
Yes, I give you a show you. So I have here 5 or 6 portfolios, and of course in this view I have 2 portfolios. You see it like here. You have an unlimited number of portfolios, and there are several strategies and scenarios how you deal with these several projects. So you can make scenarios in this portfolio.
You spoke of integration with SAP. What about Oracle?
So, as I mentioned, we connect foreign systems through the XML. So, in that term, we have also an interface to Oracle Business, but not so much as in SAP. 80% of all interfaces in that case are SAP. For our perspective, for Candy, we don't care if it's SAP or Oracle, but we don't have so much interface knowledge about to Oracle, but the most of the time it's made by the Oracle people on the other side. So an interface to Oracle is not really a problem, but for SAP we have everything. For Oracle maybe we have to analyze the special case that you have. We're talking for an interface about an effort about 5 to 10 days. Development to have an interface to this foreign system.
We have one more. When will the new release be available?
So you see, I'm planning with a non-accurate system. The new release will realize in Q1 next year. That means between 1st of January to end of March, with a little more to March. So new release will come, and it's called Candy 5 in March 2014.
Thank you. Does everything run web-based with the possibility of multiple users editing data in parallel?
Yes. So the client that I'm presenting is a Java client, so it's not web-based, but the time recording for the resource information system is totally web-based. We don't believe really in web-based applications because we are very limited in GUI techniques and security especially. So the client for portfolio and project managers and line managers are a fab client, and for all resources are web-based.
Thank you. Is it possible to populate people and departments through an integration with SAP?
Please repeat this. I don't understand the question.
Okay, so the question is it possible to populate people and departments through an integration with SAP?
Okay, of course, of course. Otherwise, you have to maintenance the information simultaneously in both systems. No, of course. Yes, it's possible.
Great, Thomas. Thank you very much. If there are any more questions from the audience, please feel free to get in touch with Can-Do or Thomas. The details will be distributed to you, and I thank you and Can-Do for this webinar, and now I will close the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.